मैंने आपको एक फोटो दिखाया था ना मैम।
हाँ हाँ,
उसका मकबरा उधर है।
वो जो दिख रहा है ना,
हाँ, वो पाकिस्तान के पास।
ये पाकिस्तान है।
हाँ, इसमें।
अरे आपको पता कैसे चल रहा है ये पाकिस्तान है?
मुझे पता है ना, उधर तक गया था मैं।
अच्छा।
Surprised by the close proximity from the border, we were stunned to look upon Pakistan so closely. But not for Akbar, who was born in this village called Hundarman, which is approximately a kilometer away from the line of control. 22-year-old Akbar, who grew up hearing stories about his relatives who were left on the other side of the border when a line was drawn in 1971, making him an Indian overnight. And they remained in Pakistan. This is the story of Hundarman, the last village of Kargil. We were a long way from Srinagar, where we had begun our journey a couple of days earlier. The journey between Srinagar and Kargil was made interesting by our bus driver Ali, whose recollection was completely different from the stories of the bravehearts we grew up listening to. Ali was a child in 1999, and his memory was one of fear and of days spent hiding in bunkers, having fled their homes in the village during the war. Now, as we were travelling to Hundarman, we realised all villages along the LOC faced the hardships during the war. But Hundarman also had a different history. We had to register ourselves at several checkpoints set up by the army along the road to Hundarman.
क्या हुआ था साहब यहाँ पे अभी? एंट्री करानी पड़ती है सर। एंट्री?
Of course, it helped that we were accompanied by 2 army soldiers. While watching the amalgamation of the Dras River into the Shingo River, we crossed the Mohammadi Chowk Bridge, from where our destination was just 5 kilometers away. Or at least, that's what the maps showed us. Moving ahead on the broken roads, the path was getting narrow.
यहाँ पे सर सबसे ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम यही है कि स्लाइडिंग्स। अच्छा। उसके वजह से यहाँ पे जो रोड्स है कवर हो जाते हैं, तो हर साल यहाँ पे नए रोड्स बनाने पड़ते हैं। यहाँ एक के बाद एक जैसे कवर हो जाते हैं।
As the dusty road ended in the middle of nowhere, we took a different route.
Cheers.
To our disappointment, most of the houses were locked. This was a deserted place with few signs of life. Finally, after a while, we spotted a couple coming down to this ghost town. Is this Hundarman? We asked. They replied in the affirmative and invited us to their house.
Easy.
The scent of fresh oak wood hung heavy in the air as we entered this newly built house. As we sipped the sharbat graciously offered by Ibrahim's wife, she mentioned that the village was empty because of Muharram. Most people had trooped to the Imambara downtown. As we chatted, Ibrahim, who was born in this village and now works as a conductor, made a startling revelation.
हमें तो ये सुनने में ये बाप दादे लोग बोलते थे, पहले तो इस गांव का नाम हुंदुरमो था। बोलता था मेजर मान सिंह ने इसका फतह लिया, तो इसका नाम हुंदुरमान रखा गया है। 1971 में ये हिंदुस्तान ने कैप्चर किया इस गांव को। पहले तो ये पाकिस्तान में था, तो वही है 1971 में ये इंडिया के पास आ गया।
Intrigued by the history of this village, we decided to explore more. Akbar, Ibrahim's young brother-in-law, volunteered to accompany us.
इधर पहाड़ में है ना जो माइन लगा हुआ है, पाकिस्तानी माइन से अभी भी
अभी भी लगे हैं?
हाँ अभी भी है, इस पहाड़ में है।
तो ये तो कोई जाता होगा तो कोई पता नहीं होगा किसी को भी?
नहीं
कोई चढ़ जाते हैं?
हाँ गधे वधे होते हैं ना मैन,
हाँ।
ब्लास्ट होते हैं ऊपर चले।
अच्छा, तो हुआ है ऐसा कभी?
हाँ हो गया है ना। पहले इधर रहते थे ना, आर्मी, इंडियन आर्मी।
अच्छा।
हाँ, इधर बंकर
हाँ।
दिख रहे ना।
तो अभी बंकर खाली है?
हाँ खाली है, सब टूट गया ना, पत्थर आ गए ऊपर से।
अच्छा, पत्थर से
हाँ।
टूट गए।
Akbar, whose father was a Pakistani, still has a few of his relatives living in Pakistan.
हाँ वो पाकिस्तान है, जहाँ मकबरा देख रहे हैं ना सर, हाँ वही पाकिस्तान के वो हमारे गांव से था सर। जब हाँ वार हो गया तब वो उधर। हाँ
Akbar has only heard stories about his uncle and his grandparents living in Pakistan, but never got a chance to meet them. After the war, this village was divided into two parts, both called Hundarman. But overnight, a line divided this village and the villagers here became citizens of two different countries. Like Muhammad Bakir, who is now living a retired life, was once a porter for the Indian Army. Bakir used to live in the portion which now belongs to Pakistan, but used to come here for schooling. He was just a 10-year-old boy when this village got divided, and part of his family and relatives were left on the other side of the LOC.
ये तो बॉर्डर किस्मत ऐसा होता है, कभी हिंदुस्तान बनते हैं कभी पाकिस्तान। हमें 47 से पहले हमारे दादू बोलते था कि ये हिंदुस्तानी था, हमें फंस गए यहाँ, नहीं तो हमारे कागज़ ज़मीन का कागज़ात सब कारगिल में था, इसलिए हमारे कारगिल में ज़मीन हमें ना मिला। ये यहाँ बैठा 25 साल हम पाकिस्तान में बैठा, फिर 1971 में हमें हिंदुस्तान में फौजियों ने, जवानों ने फतह लेके हमें फिर हिंदुस्तान बन गया।
Now, Bakir lives with his son, who is a farmer here. Apart from working for the army, these villagers have farmland which makes a significant portion of their income. The trail leading deep into the village was filled with trees of apricots. The seasonal fruit which ripens from May to September is sold by these villagers in the main town. They grow and sell the fruits like apricots, mulberries and apples throughout the year. Even during winters, they keep the trade going by selling wood, homemade byproducts, handicrafts, etc. In the winter, they use mules to carry their ration.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम दीदी, कैसे हो आप? हम ये वहाँ रोड से ना ये गद्दों पे लाते हैं, नीचे जो राशन जो होते हैं ना वो हमें खुद को उठाना नहीं पड़ता है। अच्छा, यहाँ पे डोंकीज रखे हुए ना घर घर में, तो वही लाते हैं, उसी के खिलाते हैं हम।
गिरी भी खाना होता है ना, गिरी इसके अंदर एक
ओह, इट्स लाइक अ बादाम, आमंड।
Living across the river in a wooden house on the mountains might be a fancy dream for any urban resident. However, life at the height of 8,000 feet, and that too so close to the LOC, is not easy for these people. Locals claim that the frequent shelling has now stopped, but the fear of growing up in a war-torn area still prevails in their hearts.
तो इससे बड़ी परेशानी और क्या हो सकती है कि अभी भी हमारे दिमाग में, यानी जो डिप्रेशन उन चीज़ों की वजह से हुआ है, आज भी वो मौजूद है। कुछ साल हुए हैं, कुछ 2 साल या 1.5 साल हुए हैं कि थोड़ा सा लग रहा है कि हम थोड़ा सा आज़ाद हैं, नहीं तो आए दिन सुबह से कोई फायरिंग का एक शेल का आवाज़ आना, इसके बाद खौफ पड़ना, ये चीज़ें लगातार कुछ 10-12 साल तक लगा रहा। हम उस काले दिन को कभी याद करके रोते भी हैं, क्योंकि हमने देखा है जहाँ पे हम खड़ा है और इसी के ठीक नीचे मैं अपने अब्बू, अम्मी और मेरी वाइफ और उनके साथ यहीं पे था। तो बाहर से शेलिंग हो रहे थे, तो अचानक क्या हुआ, एक ऐसा सिचुएशन हुआ कि हम लोगों ने सोचा कि दुनिया हमारे लिए अब ख़त्म हो चुकी है, क्योंकि पहला बम गिरा इसी घर के जहाँ पे हम बैठा है, इसी घर के कोने में लगा। इसके बाद हम अंदर थे, तो यहाँ से एक दरवाज़ा मेरा यहाँ की तरफ हुआ करता था, तो एक शेल आया यहीं से आके सीधा उस वाले दीवार को लेके गए। तो हम लोग जैसे कि कब्रिस्तान से शायद लोग निकल गए हैं, इस तरह की हालात हो कि हम लोग आधा घंटे में जब एक दूसरे को देखने लगा तो हम सिर्फ यही कर रहे थे, एक दूसरे के गले पकड़ के रो रहे थे। लेकिन अल्लाह का शुक्र करते हैं कि हमारी जान बच गई।
Apart from the constant fear of shelling, the geography of this village is another challenge for these people. Being a small village in a cold desert region, the place remains fully covered under snow during the winters. During monsoon, the region experiences deadly landslides. Due to such reasons, many, like Akbar and Aqlima Batur, decided to vacate their house in the lower region of the village and made new settlements.
स्नो स्लाइडिंग होता है ना।
स्नो, अच्छा ये स्लाइडिंग की वजह से ऐसे बने हुए हैं।
नहीं, इधर भी मशीन लगाते हैं, ये रेता ले जाते हैं उधर कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए।
This disconnection has limited their opportunity to expand their business in this digital age. claimed to be situated near one of the roads of the ancient Silk Route, which was historically the most significant trading route connecting Asia and beyond the Middle East, this village is forced to sell their raw material in the local market. Ibrahim explained how people of villages from both sides of the LOC are demanding to reopen this historic trade route. However, it seems difficult amidst the cold geopolitical tension between India and Pakistan.
Bye-bye.
That's it.
The story of Hundarman, a small village in Kargil, is no different from the story of India-Pakistan itself. Once part of one big country, it is now divided by an imaginary line of identity. But what cannot be divided is the air that blows into this valley, the rivers which drain between these countries, and the memories of the past which still connect our hearts.